Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective Podcast. I'm Ten Types, as I was joined by Uncommon Fossil.
Hello, glad to be here.
Yep, and today we are talking about Ascended Heroes, the new expansion that released this past Thursday or Friday. It released Thursday on live, and then it releases the next day internationally, and also in person. I will say internationally just released. In Japan, it's been out for a little while, and in fact, in Japan, rotation's been happening, but rotation will happen internationally in what, like a month and a half or something like that, maybe, or like a month.
Yeah, sometime in March. I don't remember. Late March.
Yeah,
Month
a
and a
month and a
half.
half. Yeah,
Anyway.
month and a half, almost two actually. Now that I think about it, but anyways, we are talking about Ascended Heroes. Ascended Heroes is an interesting set. Is this the biggest set ever? I don't remember.
I think I did see that. I think I saw that. At least it's what, 200 and some cards, I think, of the non 217 cards, not counting this alternate arts. Now they're mostly reprints though, right? It's
Yeah.
what, 60, 70 new cards, something like that. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it might be more than that. A lot of them are. So this is made up of the expansion Mega Dream in Japan, as well as products from the like 100 decks in Japan or something. Both of those
Yeah.
had a bunch of reprints. I mean, the 100 decks. There's 100 decks, right? There's like 700
Yep.
cards in those. A bunch of those are reprints. There was like 50 or like 60 new cards maybe. And then there's some more. So there are some new cards, but a lot of them are not very good. But there are some really interesting ones we're going to be talking about today. And honestly, part of why I'm excited to do this is because, and I don't know if you agree with me, but I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. But I feel like the set has some cool cards, but not that many cool cards that are like good focuses of decks. So we'll kind of look at them, and they're going to be some like kind of weird ones here today. And if you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment section. I've actually gotten some from my Discord server as well, which we're going to be talking about here today. But yeah, what have your thoughts been on the set like so far? In like leading up to it and like playing with it a little bit as well.
Yeah, played a little bit. There's been like right now 4 major tournaments that use the new cards. All the new tournaments online aren't using them because the EUIC doesn't allow them. So some are preparing for that. Dragapult's still doing really well there, not shockingly. Of the new decks, there is
Wait,
the
sorry.
mega. Go
Where are
ahead.
the tournaments that are with? Wait, is it tournaments with Ascendant Heroes?
Online
Oh, online. Okay.
because online only. Yeah. So these are like 300 people tournaments. There's a few. There's been 4 of them that have happened at the time of recording. So Dragapult Goldango seems to be doing well. It ends, which has picked up some pieces, a few things. It's the mega, Frostlass is probably the one new deck that is probably doing the best. That's seen some good results out there, right? I don't think we're going to talk about that per se. It is good though. Stage 1 that does 50 damage per card in opponent's hands for 1 energy. It's a 3 prizer. It's a mega at 310 HP, so that's going to be the scary thing. But you could do nice damage on 1 energy, getting it evolved pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean it's an all right card, I think. Post rotation, it's doing, I guess, decently well. To be honest, mostly why it's good is, well, I will say the snow run is like good having 70 HP instead of 60, and on top of that, it's good within a Frost Last deck. But it's like, I don't know, at least looking around, it's mostly like a one of in a Frost Last box style deck, which is like okay. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think the new Hanshiko deck, Team Rocket's Hanshiko, is a little better in my opinion. Um, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I mean, I don't think there's any like amazing new deck either, in my opinion.
No, there's not. I mean, the biggest thing, which is the Pokepad, which some of our decks will have, but like Dragapult, which is already good, Pokepad just makes it better, right? But that's not something very interesting to talk about. So we're not going to dive into how Dragapult got better because of that card, but it certainly did. So it made some good decks better. Out there, a couple little cards like that, but there's not great attackers that are going to do all that are really going to dominate, I think, in a competitive environment. But there's some fun cards out there for sure.
Yeah. So what deck is there? One you want to talk about first, or should I start off?
Why don't you start us off?
Okay, so I guess we'll talk about Team Rocket's Hanskro first. Wait, let me find this. I don't have the tab sorted. So Team Rocket's
Okay.
Hanskro, this is a new deck. Have you played with or against this deck or not yet?
Um, I think I've played it a little bit, and I've run into it as well, and it is a good deck, and I think it is it's a good deck for sure.
Yeah, this is a card that Team Rocket's Honchkrow. We've talked about this a good amount. We're not going to dive into it too much here, but you can discard for 2 colors on a stage one. Team Rocket's Pokemon here. You can discard any amount of supporters with Team Rocket in their name from your hand. You do 60 more, or 60. It doesn't do any base damage for each card discarded in this way. I guess I'll mention. I think in expanded, there's another Team Rocket supporter, which is like kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, this is it can do pretty big damage for. I mean, as a good multiplier, it's like pretty doable. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's cool. You can pair this with the obviously all the Team Rocket supporters, and they kind of lead themselves to a powerful package. We talked about it before, and it is a good deck. Post rotation, it's doing well in Japan. It's not absurdly good, but like it's pretty good, especially for a single prize deck. I mean, we what was it, a week ago? Or was it 2 weeks ago? We ranked the post rotation metagame, and we ranked
Yeah,
this.
something like
I don't know, was it like A tier, B tier? I'm not sure, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's around there. And now you have the Team Rockets package, which is the item that searches for any Team Rockets card, and then you've got a nice collection of supporters here, and then you're doing damage based upon supporters with the Honchkrow discarding supporters from hand, and then the Porygon two Porygon Z, I guess based upon supporters in the discard pile. Is the Honchkrow the setup for the Porygon? Is the Porygon the big attacker, or is the Honchkrow the big attacker?
Um,
I haven't played enough to
Yeah,
have
the
a sense of
Honchkrow's
that.
the big attacker. So Porygon does 20 for each rocket support in your card. I mean, the multiplier is just really low. I guess it's more so like I guess it's almost described like Blood Mars or Luna EX, where it's like you attack with it at the end of the game when you're like low on resources.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't do that much damage. I mean, even if I guess if you have all of them in the discard, you're like one-shotting anything. But yeah, Team Rocket Soundscrow is definitely gonna be your main Pokemon. It's easier to attack with. It does more damage, and yeah, I mean it's just very good. In my experience, I played it like a few games, and it felt like a legitimate deck. That was like pretty good, not absurd, but pretty good.
Yeah, so this was well, I mean, Team Rocket's Honchkrow is one of the better cards from the new set, and it makes a strong single prize deck, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, and he also gets to take advantage of the Pokepad too for that. So other cards, but the Team Rockets decks were pretty good. Team Rocket's Porygon wasn't good enough on its own, but now with the Honchkrow, it becomes a nice single prize deck. So I'm pleased for it, and yeah, I think it will continue to be a solid choice for decks going, for a while.
Yeah. And so I don't think there's too much more to add with that. I guess it's just like Pokepad. I guess Pokepad, if you aren't familiar, we've talked about it a lot, and I mean it's like very good. I actually wait. So how much Pokepad have you played? I've played it a little, but I haven't played it that much, surprisingly.
I don't remember now. I pretty much most of the decks I played have used Pokepad. I probably when this first set dropped, I took some existing decks and slotted in some Pokepads. I'm trying to remember what they were. It's just a nice card, but hasn't been the huge upswing that I thought it would be for decks that utilize it. Ultra Ball, Buddy Buddy Puff, and Nest Ball could do. I would say did the job most of the time. The Pokepad is a small boost. Any boost is helpful, but I think it's a smaller boost than I thought. Is my thoughts right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you're like, Ultra Ball, but Pokepop and Nest Ball. That's like a good amount of Pokemon search for most decks. I mean, it is 12 Pokemon search is a lot, or it's good. Obviously, not every deck can like utilize all those. But Pokepad is fine pre-rotation. Post-rotation, when we're losing Nest Ball, I think it's going to be a big deal. But anyways, yeah, I mean, Pokepad though, it gets a non-Rulebox Pokemon into your hand as an item, which is like good. It's the main Pokemon search option, I guess, within this deck here. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's cool. Also, this Haunchkrow Dex, this is like a list I played. I made a video on it. This is not my list. I just found it online. Oh, it does play Miracle Headset. I guess I'll say that's cool. The A spec. Do you know what that does on Common Fossil? You might have it pulled up,
I,
but
I looked at it, so yeah. But you put two supporters from your discard pile into your hand, so which fits with the idea that you're attacking with the Honchkrow rather than the Porygon, because the Porygon you want them in the discard pile.
yeah. And I think that card's cool. I haven't really played with it before. It's like, I mean, it's like Verse Seeker, but like not really. Theoretically it is, but in practicality it plays very differently. But that's kind of fun there. But then what deck do you want to talk about next, or should I do another one?
Uh, Let me see if my computer's getting a little laggy here, but I'm going to talk about the deck that I built. I built 5 decks like the hour before this, so the build quality is was quick and dirty, but kind of fun going through it. And I'll talk about the Stunfisk deck because that's the one that I played of these decks, and I won. So I am a perfect winning record with this deck. So. This is the new card in the deck. The Stunfisk is a basic Pokemon 110 HP. It does 30 for one energy. You can't ask for much more than that. And then during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. And the next turn, the defending Pokemon takes 100 damage more from attack. So it's not that the Stunfisk doesn't do 100 more, but the defending Pokemon takes 100 more. And that can obviously be meaningful in what the condition to get out of it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely interesting here. So how's this deck you've got here like work?
So it's got 4 Stunfisks, 4 Bidoos, no engine. I think what I did with a lot of these decks is I just put 4 Pokegears in because that will generally, you put a bunch of supporters in and a bunch of Pokegears and you'll get enough to get going most of the time. I could put a Pheasantipity EX in, but then it's, you try, it's relying on single prize to get a lot of turns because the deck's not great. This one, I put 4 Crushing Hammers in, so I'm stalling them out. I'm hitting them a bunch of times because I know I'm not gonna knock things out too fast. I have Crushing Hammers. I think I should put in like a Zero 06 Machinations. I know you don't like that card. An Aries, something like. I need a little bit of hand disruption, so I think I need to tweak the deck list there. Got to put in a new supporter that's quite nice. The Canary. I don't know that how necessary it is, but search for 4 Lightning Pokemon, so it's a way to get load up on Stunfisk. But there's just one copy of that, not bad. So, and then a bunch of 4 bosses, Prime Catcher. So just trying to get something trapped, slow them down, get rid of some energies, and make life miserable until and grind out a win. Playing a couple luxurious capes as well. So I'm hopefully not getting one shot. Have to be careful with that because of course I gotta watch the prize trades. So if I'm gonna get one shot with a cape attached, I can't afford that. So and also a couple of counter catchers, more gust, more disruption. So making life miserable for my opponent is the basic premise behind the deck.
Yeah, Stunfisk is an interesting Pokemon. It's a trapping Pokemon, and it also is like this damaging Pokemon, right? It's not trapping Pokemon like Nacli or Ethan Sudoku or like Maractus, where you're kind of slowing. I mean, you are slowing the game down, but you are doing like meaningful damage as well. Yeah, I think Stunfisk is interesting. I've definitely been thinking about it a little bit. Someone I can't figure out who told me this. I'm trying to find it. Maybe uh Darth Zigzagoon into my Discord server. Oh, and Kevin Kirkman also they said this that to pair it with Iron Hands EX as well, which is interesting because Iron
Mhm.
Hands EX uh it does if you take a knockout you take an extra prize, but it only does 120, which is
Right.
like okay, but it's not amazing. But with Stunfist you can have the Iron Hands EX be doing more, which is like interesting. So that is cool. I don't know if that's like good. I mean, I haven't tried it, but it seems kind of interesting there. Stunfisk is also within some like Lightning Box style deck. It could be
Yeah.
interesting within Frostlass. Maybe it could be interesting. I mentioned Maractus. There's also Yveltal there, but I think Stunfisk could be okay. I mean, Yveltal's a better typing, and Maractus. I mean, this is Lightning, which isn't like super easy to slot in, but I do like Stunfisk. I think it's an interesting card, like a moderately interesting card. As a build around, though, it seems kind of bad, but it seems like kind of a fun card.
Yeah, it's a fun way to go. I also could slot in like a Mimikyu just for some walling, but they have energy issues. Could slot in, and we may talk about a Miss Magius. I don't know if we'll talk about that, but there's a single prize Miss Magius that moves an energy from the active to the bench. So if we're looking to really slow things down, that Miss Magius the stage 1, you move an energy on play from active to bench. You could Professor Turo's it up and kind of continue with the disruption as you grind through to get more prizes quicker than your opponent.
Yeah, I think it is. There are some interesting ideas there. I mean, I think like the Sunfisk as a piece, so then also maybe like a control. I mean, like pseudo control. It's interesting. Also, Canary. I mean,
Yeah,
Canary seems kind of bad here because if you literally have any like, it's good because it gets you a lot of lightning Pokemon, but you don't have that many
right.
lightning Pokemon. But it's kind of fun.
Well, the idea is Um, because the HP's high in the stun fist, the Buddy Buddy Poff is not good. So I have one Buddy Buddy Possum to get down some Badoos, some nest balls, but then to get multiple stun fists on one turn, the Canary is good for that. So and with the Pokey gear, I should hopefully get that early enough to get my bench set up. That's the thought behind it. But it's obviously better for a Lightning Box style deck, but not this is not that certainly.
Yeah. But anyways, then I think we'll talk about the Lightning Box deck I have here. Um, and that's the new Mega Dragonite deck. I also copied this list on off of online. I made a video on it. Being completely honest, I wasn't very hopeful about this deck. Mega Dragonite EX for 3 on a stage 2 does 330, Lightning Water, and then you discard 2 from it. You can also switch every turn with the ability. And there's a new Mega Electros EX. This like has a spread attack and a paralysis attack. They're like not that good, but they do exist. It does run the Stun Fisk, and it runs Electric, which isn't new. I mean, it got reprinted, I guess, but it accelerates the basic lightning from your discard to your bench. Oh, sorry. One thing with the reprinting and with a set, Ascended Heroes has cards some that are regulation, some that are J regulation, which is interesting. So do keep an eye on
Yeah.
that. But yeah, so use like Electric to power stuff up. You have Dragoneer, the stage 1 to search for evolutions if it has an energy attached. I mean, I don't know. I don't think this deck's very good. Um, but yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's like kind of expensive and it's not super. I mean, it's like kind of powerful in terms of raw damage, but it's not like crazy powerful. Um, for the fact that it's a stage 2/3 prize that's 3 energy that loses energy as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? So it's 370 HP, um, it without weakness, the Mega Dragonite. So that's part of what makes it appealing. You can't get stuck. It's with its ability you can't get stalled out because you switch. So that's nice there. I don't know if there's anything that can really stall that can beat that. I don't think. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
I mean, they could trap the Mega Dragonite EX theoretically in the active and then ability lock you. Um,
Okay.
but that's not very likely to happen. It is a nice ability. And if you have another one on your bench, which you could get, then yeah, there's stuff that they can do. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's or they could Gastrodon. They could also miss Magius. Anyways, yeah, like there's not really anything.
Right. I mean, stall's not a big thing right now, but it's a nice option to have. There, obviously, the electric provides flexibility, accelerate a lightning energy every turn. So to your bench, that's really good. So obviously, so the Dragonair gives you the switching. So it potentially could work. I don't know. Have you played this deck, by the way, to know if it actually functions well?
Yeah, I played it once. I mean, it was like okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the deck's super good. I've been completely honest. I went into the game thinking it wasn't going to be super good. I did make a video on this on my channel. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't believe in it. I think um this isn't the deck for me to try out too much because I just don't think it's that good.
Yeah.
It feels clunky. I mean, it like feels kind of clunky. And not like the payoff isn't really there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a deck if you're gonna have to really believe it and put a bunch of time into it because it's a little complicated enough. I question it. I like box style decks. Generally, box style decks are single prize. The fact that you have a stage 2 is at the center of the box style deck. That's tricky. The electric being a stage 1, you can make a lightning box deck with that. I'm not worried about. But the fact that you need this Mega Dragonite. That's a little tricky, I would say. So, getting it to work just because of card space slots and all that, I don't love that with the deck. But these box style decks are certainly fun things and worth giving a try.
Yeah, and I don't know, like you could build it. This one's, I guess, it doesn't really play like a box style deck. I mean, it does have some other options at attackers, but I mean, there's a Zero Aura. I actually don't know why the Zero Aura is in the deck. It seems kind of bad, but the list I found played it. But
Okay.
anyways, it's like kind of whatever. A generic single prize basic, but Mega Dragonite, like I've seen some lists play it in more of a box style deck, like in Flareon, which seems kind of interesting, but like really out there as well, right? And then
Yeah.
yeah, it seemed actually a decent chunk of play in Flareon, but it does seem kind of not super good there. And then it's also been played as more of like a focus there, or as part of this like pseudo box style like lightning deck. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I wish the Dragonair searches for evolutions, but like what evolutions are you really looking for? Like you can get some that are cool, but you can't really get any that provide ton of interesting utility. I mean, I guess you have energy acceleration, you have switching, you have search on the Dragonair, but like um it's not like super good. I mean, it's nice, but it's not super like immediately powerful. So yeah, I mean, I feel like the deck, and I'd be interested in hearing if anyone's been playing this deck and finding it to be good and how they've played it, and like built it. But right now, I don't think it's. I mean, I just think the it's not worth the amount of effort you need to put in to make it to work.
Yeah, you have to be relying on the Dragonair. If you wanted to build a lightning box style deck, then you keep the electric, you drop the Dragonair line, you put in Latias EX with some basic attackers, right? And then you do the same thing, but with more efficiency.
Yeah.
Right. So, what do you want to talk about next?
I guess we'll go down the line. We'll talk about another lightning deck I have here, which is Hobbs Pincoach and EX. This is a deck I did play. Okay, I will be completely honest. So this is a deck that looked cool. So okay, I will also say I didn't know this came
Okay.
out. Also, shout outs to Kevin Kryptonite for telling me about this because this was in like Japan has like these promo cards that come out and they like take a while to come out internationally, right? Um,
Uh, yeah, and that's where some of the set is weird. Some of it's you're getting some of these odd cards. You're also getting in the set some like cards that we got as special as promos that they then weren't so accessible. And now, but like online in live you could get them, but IRL you couldn't get them. But now they're in this set, so
oh,
it's a
like
bit of a
Psyduck,
mishmash.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Hops Synchro and EX, it's cool. It's like a Hops Pokemon. And on attack, when you attack, you draw two, and you for two lightning colors, you do 120. If you're hit into, you take 30, which like those stats aren't very good. But then you are able. It is a Hops Pokemon, right? So you have the Hop support. There's
Yes.
three different cards that. In combination, you'll be doing a total of 90 extra damage and also attacking for one less energy, and it's relatively doable. Like Kerman going second, it's not super good. I mean, you could be doing 210. Funnily enough, there's a bunch of different attacking options: Hops Snorlax, Hops Pinkoche EX, and Hops Cramorant. They all do like essentially the same damage, which is like kind of funny, and bad. Oh, it plays Hops Sash and EX as well. This is my list. I forgot to put in an ace back. I said it in the video, but yeah, I mean the deck's okay. It felt all right, like better than I was expecting. Honestly, this felt about as good as Mega Dragonite EX. It felt like low to the ground. Uncommon False, I think you would actually like this deck. You got like an attack that like draws you cards. It's like a big, like a kind of a big
Yeah.
basic attacking deck. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think the list definitely needs some work. And not exactly sure how to change it again, except for the ace spec thing. But it is a pretty cool deck. It's not the craziest deck, but it is kind of fun.
I would think, yeah. Look, I played Hops a little bit early on. Not no, I haven't played it in a bit, and I like it. You know, this is a big basic deck, which I like. It's got the Latias. You have the things to modify damage. You have Hops Choice Belt to do 30 more, and it takes one less. I would think you want to add another type of energy, and well, this is relying on generator, right? Which
Yeah.
um, now, I think I might want to. You could go with different energy and go with Crispin.
Yeah.
I would. I wonder if that's the better way to go. Now I was trying to. I know generators rotating. Is Crispin rotating? I think that's
Yeah,
sticking
Crispin.
around.
Yeah, Crispin's sticking around. Yeah,
Okay.
so playing this with Crispin could be cool. It's kind of weird because Crispin gets you two types, and with Hobbs Pickaxe and EX, it's two lightning. It's just two lightning when you attach the tools. So
Oh. Oh,
yeah,
you're right. It only gets it covers what just a colorless energy. The hops.
yeah.
Choice band. Okay, so yeah, you're right. So yeah, the Crispin doesn't really work so well
Yeah,
then.
but it could work as like, you accelerate the lightning, get some other type to your hand, then you attach the lightning, another lightning. I was actually thinking of this. I don't know if I was thinking about this for this deck, but this just came to my mind. Compare this with Lunatone and Solrock and put fighting energies in your deck. We could do something like Monkey Door, but Monkey Door is not like super good here. But you could do like Lunatone and Solrock, which I don't know if that's good either, but and then you Crispin, you get the fighting to your hand and use that for draw, and then you obviously attach the lightning with the Crispin, and then you attach another lightning from hand, which is like a kind of a cool idea. It seems kind of bad. Also, like ideally, you want to like Arvin turn one to get your tool. And
Yeah.
Hopspag's also good, and you can like get that turn one. So, it's a little awkward, but it feels all right. Um, and I was like hitting my generators when I played it. I was like hitting them decently, so that certainly helped.
Okay. I mean, the one downside is you using a Hops Choice Band, which is a nice tool, but you're not buffing your HP, so you're a prize Pokemon at 200 HP. I don't love that about it. That's going to be a bit of a question mark as the game in terms of winning games. But yeah, no, it's appealing. It's an okay amount of damage. It's not well, no, for two prizer, it's not good, right? For three
Yeah.
energies,
Well,
drawing two
yeah.
cards is nice. You can do 90 more, so it gets you to 210. So, but you're unfortunately you're not really one-shotting any rule box Pokemon for the most part.
Yeah, I mean you're one-shotting some like Fezznifty EX. It's not like you don't hit anything. You kind of do 30 more with the ability, right? But like not exactly. So
Yeah.
it's kind of weird there, but it's cool. But it's not like
Okay.
super good.
Yeah, no, that was definitely on my radar. The Hops Pin Kirchen. Not that it's tremendous itself, but the Hops package is pretty solid, and it's having a nice having another tool for that deck.
Yeah. But then I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say about this deck. Not really. I mean, it's hops. If you played hops, it kind of plays like it, but not exactly. But what's the deck you want to talk about now?
Sure. Let me come across here. So talk about stage two, a colossal deck. In this one I forgot to put an ace spec in, so I should do that because they are good. So the Colossal's a stage two, 180 HP, and it's got one attack. The second attack does 220 for four energies. You discard three energies from the Pokemon. I don't love that. But it's really built around the first attack. The retreat cost is four. I really hate that even more. But anyway, it does Tar Cannon for one energy. It does 140 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's pretty good. 140 is not bad in a number and single prize. It's not great, but you can hit the bench with it as well. So that I think is pretty appealing. The caveat there though is you have to have at least 10 basic fighting energies in your discard pile, or the attack does nothing. So you have to load up your deck with energies. I put 16 in. Hopefully that's enough to get it going because I need to discard a bunch of energies. Then Squawk abilities in the deck. One copy there. Probably should put in the I put four research in. I realized that as I was getting near the end because it's like, oh yeah, I got to get rid of cards. I should have put in the one I could play turn one, the
Yeah,
supporter
Carmen.
blanket.
Yeah.
Carmen, I think it needs that as well. This okay does not play Pokegear. I'm looking at three Pokepad, but then playing four Ultra Ball, which is better than Pokepad for this deck because I need to get rid of these energies. Four Earthen Vessels in it, playing so things like um, it's a fun attacker there. Yeah, that stage one attack doesn't really isn't very good. So a 4-3-4 line with four rare candy, maybe I could, probably drop a stage one there. Get to play a Koraidon as well because it helps power up. If I could use the second attack, then ID, if I go first, then you get a couple energies in the discard pile, and you can accelerate two energies from your bench to two basic fighting energies anywhere way I want. So it ends my turn. So turn one going first, and then slapped in the Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pond gives a wall, and it's just a nice attacking option as well. So kind of going with I also air balloon's nice for switching, but with a deck like this, the retreat cost is so high on the Colossal. Did slap in a Surfer. I know it's not the best thing, but put that in rather. Could put in a switch or something like that. But I want some other switching card is a good thing as well. So I just think the Colossal being able to do 140 to any Pokemon your opponent has in play is a nice little option for one energy.
Yeah, it's a cool card. Um, the issue is, I mean, 140 like isn't that much damage. Like it's hard to pull off, and the upside isn't
Yeah.
that high, right? Like that's my issue with it. Um, it's kind of fun
Yeah,
though.
it would be nice if it was like the secondary attacker. The problem is because stage two, I feel like I have to put so many Pokemon and rare candies. I need to make it the primary. So yeah, I mean, if the deck's going to be successful, I'm going to have to get some mileage out of the Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pond too, I suspect. Or I really have to get that turn one set up where I get the end up. I can Squawk ability away a whole bunch of energies, get energies, you know, everything needs to come together. So I think it is a bit of a sketchy deck. I think for sure.
Yeah. Like this is honestly a card I completely forgot about as well. It's kind of fun. I think there's a Chandelure like it as well, which I think is like worse. I mean, it doesn't do snipe, but I don't wait. Let me check on that one actually. Um, Yeah, from White Flare, it's like kind of the same thing. It does 10 more, but it only hits the active, and it's fire, which is probably easier to get in the discard. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of fun here. Wait, so you haven't played this deck, right?
I have not played it, no. So I don't know that it's going to hit often enough. And, I have a couple Badoos in, hopefully trying to slow down my opponent with it along the way. But it's going to be a tough game to win, probably.
Yeah, yeah, seems sketchy. It is tanky for a single prizer, which is like kind of cool. Not like absurdly tanky, but it's decent. But yeah, definitely a kind of fun deck idea. But I think if it like did twice as much damage, I think it would be like okay. I don't. I think it would be fair if it did twice as much damage.
Yeah, being a stage two plus needing all those energies in the discard pile, which means I gotta put 10 extra energies in my deck, which means the deck is a little less is significantly less consistent. All those are tough things to overcome.
Yeah. But I think we can move on to the next deck.
Yep.
And that one, I guess I'll talk about Larry's here. Actually, now let's talk about Larry's at the end. Let's talk about Rotom. I think Rotom's fun. I played Rotom a while, and I like stopped because it was well the way I built it was really stressful. But I want to hear about your list here.
All right, so Rotom, we have the new Rotom adding to it the psychic one with has Rotom Call. It's got Gadget Show, which is what they all are featuring. It does for 2 colorless energy, does 30 for each tool attached to all your Pokemon. We can get a whole bunch of tools in play, but then Roto Call. Search your deck for any number of Pokemon that have Rotom in their name, put them onto your bench. So you go second, and you can set up exactly what you need. We have the Rotom EX, which has Rotom in its name, and that lets you double. Put 2 tools on every Pokemon with Rotom in the name, and then there is a number of different attackers. It's a box style deck. They have Grass, Water, Fire, Lightning, Psychic for attacking options, and with the so all single prize attackers there for 2 colors energies, 30 per tool. You need to have a whole bunch of tools, so you can have 6 times 12 tools in play. So you can doing
Yeah, 360.
360, so that's a very nice number there. You're not hitting that many. You're not going to you don't need to get to that number to win games. You do like the colossal deck, you had a lot of energies. This deck, you have a lot of tools. So, but the retreat cost is tool is 2, so you slap in 4 air balloons, put in 4 vengeful punch, 4 handheld fans for some disruption, a couple luxurious capes, and you can stack those. I might want to put more of those in. I'm not certain. Now, then you're giving up 3 prizes if you get knocked out with 2 luxurious capes. So that might not be worth the risk, but at times that's a nice play there. So a couple devolution to cause some trouble. So a bunch of different tool options there. Some crispins with the 3 types of energies. I can use the first attack too. Not That's not very good, but it's like you burn and put. It does like 20 damage or something but I want it crispin with some different energies. So, and just Arvin's Lilies, basic stuff there. And Secret Box was the A spec just to help set up. I don't know if that was the right call there. So that's kind of the thought behind the deck.
Yeah. This reminds me, actually. Oh, this is also something I realized that I think I said it wrong a while ago. But someone said like do the TMs and then because they fall off, which is like bad. So you could like jamming tower so they don't fall off, which
Right.
is funny. Um, but
Yeah.
then you're turning off all your tools in your tool deck, which is like bad. At first I thought if you bumped the stadium, all your tools would fall off or if they bump the stadium, but it falls off
Hmm.
at the end of your turn, so it's actually okay if you can get it back down, but it still seems bad. Someone must have commented about that a while ago, and I was like, oh, that's like
Okay.
cool. But I was like, yeah, that's like really bad. But anyways, yeah, this is like very different. If you know the story of my Rotom deck, essentially it spiraled out of control. I kept like cutting more and more energies, and I relied on counter gain. I feel like counter gain would be good, like a couple
Hmm.
copies of that,
Yeah,
but it was like
that's true.
it played 4 counter gain and 3 energies. And so it was like reliant on always being behind. So that meant it could never pull ahead, and every game came down to the wire. And so it was like really stressful. I feel like Liz Clefairy X though would be good in this deck with a new Rotom, giving you a way to hit Dragon Ball. You can one shot it without it. Oh, there is also Brave
Hmm.
Bangle, which you do 30 more damage. So it essentially acts like 2 tools. Though you can essentially one shot everything without Brave Bangle, but it is like kind of difficult. Um, I'm thinking back to the deck I made. I also played 2 Pheasant EXs in it, because it did. Yeah. Oh, and yeah. So like you're powering it up with Crispin here. Oh, no EXP share either. I do think EXP share would definitely be good in this deck, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the new Rotom's like kind of cool. With Rotocall, that is nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a Rotom deck, which is still a bit of a reach, but it makes it it gives it some consistency within the list. So, at least with, you'll set up with your Pokemon, and then hopefully with this, there's no engine, I don't think, and you don't really want to play down a Pheasantipity because that's one less tool. Maybe it should just go in because I can probably live with one less tool, but I need to do some consistency because I'm not playing the Poke Gear, so I am kind of a bit hoping that I'm going to draw supporters that get me what I need.
Yeah. But the deck is like fun. It's okay. Rotom. It's like you played it before, right? You played
Yeah,
it
I played it
on
before.
Netflix.
It's kind of like it's the tool version to me of what Cast Form was, which was a stadium one. These are in play versus the discard, but it's a fun little thing. It also plays Four Town Store, just to try to help get tools going. So again, maybe should cut a copy of Town Store as I kind of would try to just smooth out the list a little bit. But I think it's a viable deck. I think I don't. It's not going to be a world beater, but I think it's a deck that can set up okay and do okay damage. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like it's a bad deck to play.
Yeah. What I was gonna say, but I've forgotten it now. Hopefully it wasn't that important. Oh, it is. It's not that important. But you said this is like the tool version of cast form, but there is a tool version of cast form, which is Rotom in expanded, which is like well tool cast form. You like get them in the discard, then you like attack for free, which is kind of fun. The attacks are, I think they're bad, but there's a few of them. Which you haven't tried that, have you?
No, I haven't tried that, so I'll have to take a look. So there's a
Okay.
Rotom for expanded. I mean, the nice thing with this Rotom deck is you have all these weaknesses to hit for. So that's really the good thing. And yeah, I should put Brave Bangle, and I didn't think about that in the deck. So
Yeah, and I do
especially because I
think
can.
Lula's Clefairy as well. Um,
Okay.
I mean, Dragapult's very good, right? At the beginning, we were talking about how good Dragapult is, and um,
Right.
yeah, I mean that
Yeah, I
matchup
mean,
seems bad, but
well, because then cause I don't have any bench protection, so then I need to, I also need bench protection for some of these decks, and obviously spread decks, which are a thing, is going to be really tough for a deck like this to deal with. So that's a concern, depending what things I'm going to hit, how often I'm going to hit decks with spread. They could be pretty hard losses for this deck.
yeah, but definitely a fun little card here. So then I think let's talk about Miss Magius next. I want to hear about your Miss Magius deck. This isn't really a new deck, but it does look interesting here.
Yeah, so I forgot. It plays just the Misdreavus. So that's the only one because it has an Ascension attack. I like Ascension attack, so once I see an Ascension attack on it, I go, okay, what can I do with it? Because therefore, it lets you attack and evolve on. So the turn you can play it as long as you get in the active, attach an energy. In this case, a psychic energy. You can evolve that turn. That's a nice thing. So, but in this deck, you do want to like with Crustle, which I honestly I've been playing Crustle as well because I just like that. That's a wall deck, very simple there. Um, this Crustle you want to get in the active because you're walling off this Misdreavus. You don't want in the active early because you really want because you need a couple energies. I thought about playing it with Zatu, but playing one Mimikyu or Badoo and two Badoos probably I want to start the game behind those Pokemon, give up one or two prizes there, and then it's got two Miss Mages. There's a single prize one. When I play it from my hand, I can move an energy opponent's active to their bench. So if I'm like walling behind the Mimikyu, I have actually three of those stage ones. The single prize, I think that's kind of fun there. Did I play a Princess Turosnera? One of those, so I can repeat those some, and then three of the EX, the Mismagius EX, which as long as it does 150 for two, and I can draw till I have six in hand, so it's an okay attack there. But then as long as this is in the active spot, whenever your opponent's active moves to the bench, moves their active Pokemon to the bench. Their new Pokemon is now confused, so it's going to be built around a lot of gusting. So four boss,
Yeah.
prime catcher
No, no, it
in
only
the
does
deck
it on their turn.
on their turn. So I have to send them to the bench on my turn, and then they have to switch on their turn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean
That's the
guessing is
idea.
still good. Yeah. Yeah, I played this a little. So I will say a strange timepiece is also cool in the deck if you play that with the
Hmm.
Miss Magius. It's like an item that devolves a psychic Pokemon. It's really niche, but it's actually really solid with the Miss Magius. The turn might be better. But then yeah, I mean it's cool. So again, it is during their turn. At first, I was like, oh yeah, I'll like Gust, but then that doesn't work, unfortunately. And then also if they Turo, it actually doesn't work either, because they're not sending a Pokemon to the bench. But yeah, it is a cool card. Um, you haven't played with the Smash CX at all yet, right? Either.
No, I have not. I didn't play with it at all. So it's so it's going to be a lot of manipulation, trying to gust away, getting things to the bench, so they're coming to the confused when they come to the active. I also have the single prize here, so that when evolving that, moving energies away. So to from the active to the bench. So trying to force them to switch, right? They either don't have the Pokemon they want in the active, or they don't have the energies on the active that they need. So that combination there is kind of a very disruptive deck. Don't it's asking for a lot though, obviously. So hopefully it can stall, buy some turns, Badoo slowing him down, Mimicuing a little bit. Could put this is a deck that could put in Crushing Hammers just for more misery for my opponent. That might be the type of thing I need with a list like this.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely like very, very disruptive. And yeah, Miss Magic CX is like it's kind of cool. Your opponent can also just like flip. So
Yes.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of times, like whenever I'm confused, I like never go for the flip. Like I'm probably, I guess I mean, there are definitely times when I pass instead of attacking, like not that commonly, but sometimes. But then yeah, there are also times. Usually it's because like I'd get knocked out if I flip tails, and I'm like, well, I don't want to flip this. Um, and then I like always look for the switch, essentially. But anyways, yeah, I mean, confusion can be really, really annoying. But then like whenever I'm like on the ladder, and people are like confused, they always just flip for it like every single time, and then it's like so scary. But yeah.
Yeah, so just a fun little deck to cause some disruption, get to play some Luxurious Cape, because I'm finding Luxurious Cape to be useful in a lot, and it's just a matter of when to play it. We're losing that, right, with rotation,
Mhm.
so need to play it now while I can. I honestly I avoided Luxurious Cape for a long time because I didn't like the idea of giving up the extra prize, but now I think I feel more comfortable that I can time it properly. And also we do have Tool Scrapper back in the game, which this deck plays a copy of that. So besides getting rid of your opponent's tools, you can also get rid of your Luxurious Cape if you think, as the game swings, that now it becomes a liability. So that's a plus for Luxurious Cape as well.
Yeah, and also if your opponent or but if whoever knocks out through the use of damage counters not damaged, then you don't give a prize, which there's like a bunch of ways to do that. So if you're up against Alakazam, well, okay, if you're up against Alakazam, it's probably not that useful. I guess what the cape's here for Mimikyu and like I guess Badoo. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For those little guys in the active space, for the most part. So I mean, yeah. I mean, it could go in the Mismagius. But I don't really think that's going to happen much.
yeah, and Mimikyu with Luxurious Cape. I haven't played that in a while, but like I played it a while ago, and it was like so good. And one of the most underrated things in like control and like stall based decks, in my opinion. But anyways, then I think we should talk about. I guess let's talk about Larry's. Oh no, actually let's talk about Erica's, which looks interesting. I haven't tried this deck out. It has some cool stuff in it, and it's kind of weird as well.
Yeah, so Erica's one of the new trainers, right? One of the two new trainers, right? Which we'll talk about both
Yeah,
of them, right? The other is Larry's, which we're doing last here. So it's got this Erica's Tangela. I don't know if I'm saying that right,
yeah,
which is has a tremendous ability. It's 80 HP, so right now in the Buddy Buddy Poffa world, it's not so good, but that's going away. So that 80
not that
more
soon.
HP.
I mean, it's 17
Oh, we have an,
now.
we have another year with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, just Dust Ball's leaving.
Okay, just nest ball. All right, so that isn't so good for it. But we do have Pokepad. So, gathering of blossoms ability. Once during a turn, you can use the ability to search your deck for an Erica's Pokemon and put it in your hand. So very nice there. On a basic, right?
Yeah.
A really tremendous ability. So then, the Pokemon you have to work with aren't the greatest. There's two stage two lines, so it's a four rare candy deck for Arvin. We do lose Arvin, so therefore the rare candies are going to be tougher to come by. I'm pretty sure we don't lose rare candy.
Yeah, we do have Team Rocket's Petrol to search them out, but that doesn't get a
Okay.
tool. I mean, this tool deck has like a few tools. It's got Big Air Balloon. That's a fun tool. Wait, Big Air Balloon. Oh yeah, that's for the Victory Bell. And then it does play Team Evolution, which we are also losing.
Right. Well, and the Vileplume, right? Erica's Vileplume EX is also a stage two.
It is, but
So
you also have free retreat with the regular Air Balloon. Normally.
right. So two stage twos. So which you need to get a lot of Pokemon in play. I'm not sure with the rare candy counts how if I did that. I think I did it wrong, but I don't know which way to go more or less. But the Erica's Victory Bell, 150 HP on the stage two, and it does two energies. It does 40 per Erica's Pokemon in play. So you want to have six in play. So you're doing 240 on a single prize Pokemon. Not bad there. Obviously, you got to get powered up, so that's a bit of a question, I will say. And then also a Erica's Vileplume EX. What it does is you could heal. Has the ability to heal 30 from each of your Pokemon every turn, so that's really good. And you could use more than one; it can stack, so that's nice there. And then you can attack for 160 for three, and it does 160 for three. And your opponent's Pokemon's asleep and poisoned. Getting the three energies on is going to be tough, but trying to be something with some healing. Probably I should put in Luxurious Cape in. Yeah, Luxurious Cape in this list, I would think, right? Because I want to be tanky in the Victory Bell is kind of the thought there, and healing it off each turn. So I think I need to make that shift. I get to play for a bug catching side. I've always liked that card. Could play the Teal Mask Ogre Pond, but then that kind of waters down the Victory Bell's attack. So I don't know. So I didn't do that. Did put a Pheasantipity in as an option. So just kind of taking advantage, trialing of the Tangela and being able to get my this set up. The stage two decks are tough to get going, but because I have this basic with this great ability, I thought I want to give it a go. Playing the four rare candy, also playing the Forest of Vitality. So I think I probably need to go one way or the other, right? Because I could maybe drop the rare candies, rely on Force of Vitality with the Erika's Tangela, and just evolve things that way more manually. That's kind of where I'm up in the air a bit. And then I get to play Dawn in the deck, which I like a lot. Searches for a basic, a stage one, and a stage two. And this is the type of deck that wants a card like that.
Yeah, I think maybe even I'm trying to think this through. I think maybe like four Erica's Tangela, and then you can get them like all onto your bench turn one, and then you force
Hmm.
Vitality and like just chuck a ton of evolutions onto your board. Also, I feel like
Yeah.
Vileplume is like kind of meh to be honest. Like I don't know, it feels like not that good. I mean like compared with the Victory Bell, I mean it does allow you to like heal, which is cool, but it's also not that tanky. Even if you had something like Luxurious Cape there. And then with Tiamat's Ogre Pontiacs, you could also pair it with Air Zero Underdepths. Then you aren't using Force Vitality, so that's kind of weird. But Erica's Tangela is like super good. That was definitely I don't know if I'd say one of my favorite cards from the set because it obviously you have to play it with an Erica's deck, but I mean because turn one you can search out if you have one you can get all the rest, and then like there's no downside. I mean it's filling your bench, which is kind of a downside, but realistically it's more of an upside. So um, yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool deck. I don't know if it's like good. It seems kind of not very good. I mean, with the Air Zero Underdepths, you could be swinging for um, what's in play. You could be doing. I guess you could be one-shotting like pretty much everything, but I don't know. It's like not very realistic to be doing that either. I don't think.
Yeah, I guess you do Eric Zeros under depth, then and then you also you maybe if you get three Vile Plumes, and then with your if they can't one shot you with your Luxurious Cape, then you're healing off, maybe surviving a couple turns. But that's a
I think you
the
don't play
downside.
Vileplume then. I think like you just
You want me to just drop it?
yeah. I mean, it's like with Force Vitality. Force Vitality is cool for like getting back into the
Hmm.
game and like stuff like that. But um one, if you're using Air Zero Underups and Force Vitality, that's like kind of awkward. And two, um, I think you're just like trying to get like a big bench of basics, because they don't need to
Okay.
be evolution. So I think you'd like might literally even just play the Erica's Oddish, just like to have more basics to put onto your bench. But I'm not sure on that one.
Okay, I can see that. And the other concern, because it obviously attacking with the Victory Bell each turn, it is two energies, so I don't know if it needs a second energy type in Crispin or something, just
Yeah,
to
I mean you could do
get
energy
some
switch with Tiamat Sogar Pontiacs as well.
Yeah, that's true. And that's probably the better way to do it then, yeah, with the Ogre Pawn and a couple energy switch. So yeah, that's probably would improve the deck some, but it's obviously stage two decks are dicey. A deck like Dragapult being so good, stage two is an outlier. In single price stage two decks, you're really reaching and hoping with those, and I think it's going to suffer from that. But I like this Erica's Tangela. That ability is something I want to try to take advantage of because you don't get abilities that strong very often in the game.
Yeah, this is like really nice. I mean, Cynthia's Guard or Gabite EX or no,
Yeah.
I can't speak. Cynthia's Gabite's
Uh,
ability is good. It's not like absurd, but it's pretty good. Same thing with something like maybe even Mamoswine EX or whatever. I mean, I've been a bit of a hater of Mamoswine, I guess. I feel like I've been pretty fair about it, but it's on the stage two. The Gabite is on a stage one, which is like
yeah.
decent. But it's not like broken, but like on a basic, it's so good. Because you can again just chain them together. So yeah, this is definitely a cool deck. I might try it out. We'll see. But yeah, it's definitely kind of fun. Like a lot of trans Pokemon decks, it's like relatively straightforward. There's some options within it, but it's like kind of simple, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So this is definitely a deck I think based on conversation I want to tweak it some, but definitely do want to play with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Oh, sorry. So we're talking Larry's next, right? Is that what we're gonna say?
yep. Yeah, we're down to Larry's the last of them, and obviously the other brand new trainer to get Pokemon in the TCG.
Yeah. I was like looking at my list. So this is my list. This list is like kind of bad. I guess I don't know, but I was like, why is there three different types of basic energy? But it literally doesn't matter. But so anyways, there's two new car, or there's a few, but there's two that are the main focuses here. You got Lairs Kamala, which is really interesting. And I want to talk more about Lairs Kamala after I talk about this deck here. And I've gotten some comments about this deck. Or about this card and some different ideas with it. It's really interesting, but also like really sketchy. But anyways, once on your turn, if it's on your bench, you can use this ability to attach energy from your hand to your active Larius Pokemon. In this deck, you're trying to attach them to your Lairs to Dunsparce CX, or I guess the Dunsparce as well. And then for 3 colors, you flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Did you say you play this deck, or?
Yeah, this was when the new set became live and live. This was the first deck I built with the new cards. Knowing it's not the best deck, but it was one I wanted to give a go. I found it I didn't set up well enough. I don't think I built the deck quite properly. And also when I did, I wasn't. It's a coin flip deck because based on the Dunsparce, 80 per. You flip a coin, 80 in for every head's 80 damage. You flip a coin per energy attached and 80 damage per head. So potentially very good. I never got above 50%. I got 50% some and below most of the time. So that was, if I could have played it more, I'm sure that would have evened out some and could, with tweaking the list, it could be okay. But it's always going to struggle a little bit, I would think too.
Yeah. It's interesting because the Lairs Kamala can accelerate special energy. So you have Ignition Energy.
Yeah,
Um, Ignition Energy, funnily enough, because you can accelerate them turn one and then like evolve turn two, right? But if you accelerate the Ignitions turn one, they're just
right.
gonna fall off. But anyways, yeah. So you can accelerate like a bunch of special energies here. It plays Spiky Energy, which is like kind of bad, but it's kind of funny. It's like Rocky Helmet or whatever. You take 20 when you hit into it. And Mist Energy. It plays a Jet Energy and Enriching Energy as well, which is like cool. Enriching Energy honestly is a card I've really been loving lately. I've been seeing it in like different decks. I was playing against I was just looking at decks and I saw Decidueye Villain, but that's for a later date. But in the Mega Lopunny Kangaskhan Dusknoir deck, which is like kind of cool. And yeah, I mean, Enriching Energy is kind of fun, and so you can do these cool things with special energies. This actually seems really interesting and expanded.
Yeah,
And then if you know me, I like to do like weird combos, right? And so you can pair this. Someone suggested, I think Kevin Kryptonite, my Discord server, suggested this with Scramble Switch. Um,
hmm.
and so you use Scramble Switch, which moves all the energy or like any amount from your bench or no, from your like you switch. So it's a switch, and then you move them from the is it your old active to the new active, or is it like any bench to the active?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Uh, Yeah, it's from the old active to the new active, and so you can like move energy. You can accelerate a bunch of special energy. It's like really weird. It's cool. I don't know how to do this. Someone said you could do it with Kiram, which seems like impossible to do, but funny. And then you can also do it with like Team Rocket's special Team Rocket's energy. Or wait, no, you can't do it with Team Rocket's energy. What am I saying? Because you can't accelerate the Team Rocket's energy to the not Team Rocket's Pokemon, but you can do it with
Yeah.
like Prism energy, which is like cool. Um, Mostly it's just really clunky, but I don't know. It'd be interesting in playing with it in expanded. If anyone has any ideas, then that'd be interesting. You could do it with Thornton as well. One of my favorite
Yeah.
cards that's like bad, but it's fun. Stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
what I was thinking. I was thinking with Thornton expanded because it accelerates to any Larry's Pokemon. So I probably accelerate to another Kamala
Yeah.
or like the Larry's Dunsparce. I'm thinking Blissey V because I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
And then you have the powerful energies and all that stuff. So you could load it up. It likes the energies, so something like that. Something to use the Thornton. And with Thornton, you could even evolve it as long as the basic that you're switching from with the Thornton was already in play. So it gives you a lot of options. I think it expanded a lot of different special energies, type specific, and is a lot of different Pokemon to try to mess around with. So I think it is a lot of crazy fun and expanded. I don't know that it'll be super good because it's going to be trying to pull off some complex combinations that will fail often enough, but it'll be a lot of fun trying and super fun when it works.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a really interesting card here. Just being able to accelerate a bunch of special entry on a basic is like just kind of unheard of. But obviously,
Yeah.
what it does is like it's not where you want them, so you need to like jump through a bunch of hoops to get to where you want to be. But I think that's like kind of the spirit of expanded, in my opinion. There. And then you have a bunch of cards that you looked at that some of these we haven't talked about. Wait, these aren't all new cards. But Oh, okay. Like I just had Mega Dancy, which is like a card that got reprinted. But yeah, there's some like cool cards in this set. Any you want to highlight now that you think are interesting?
Um, let me take a look. So, well, go ahead. Why don't you talk about something if there's
Oh,
something that
okay,
jumps out to
yeah.
you
So
first?
I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, there's that like funny supporter with the ends one. But someone also, Corey, in my Discord server, submitted a deck list. Oh, I don't actually have it pulled up, but it's a Drag Ball EX deck, but it also plays the new Mega Feraligatr EX. So I don't think the Mega Feraligatr EX is good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and the way they describe the deck, it seems like okay, but it seems like most of the time he'll just be attacking with a Dragapult, which is like fine, but like Dragapult's very good. But anyways, Mega Feraligatr for Water Colorless, which of course you play in your upper in Dragapult, and you can put that on here as well. And then what you do is you do 200, but if your opponent's active or has any damage counters on it, you do 200 more. This is an
Yeah.
interesting card. I've heard about it mentioned with the single price for Alligator deck. I played that a while ago. It was a really cool deck, a really weird, like complicated deck. Honestly, it was like so complicated and like janky. It was like it played like a control deck, like a true control deck in terms of like play patterns, but that like doesn't really align with the Mega Alligator. I guess it kind of aligns because it has a lot of HP, but like not really. But it is interesting. But it's clunky there. I mean, that deck really struggled with energies, and this is 3 energies, so I don't think that's helping it out there. It is an interesting card though. I don't know if you have any ideas for it. Like yes, you could do it with like Monkey Dory, but people are like, yeah, just Monkey Dory and you knock out anything. But like it's a stage 2, and you need 4 energies on your board. You also need damage cards on your board, so
Right.
essentially it's like impossible. I mean, not impossible, but like you're certainly not pulling this off enough to actually like realistically win a game. So I don't know how to like power this
I,
up.
I mean, no, I mean, well, you need like Baxcalibur, right? Right now,
Yeah,
because that's in format, but that's
stage 2.
that's not another stage two. So it's gonna be, but that's the only really way to set it up, I would think. And it's a mega, so it's 3 prizes too. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be too difficult to really make work. So myself, so that's what it's. That's why I didn't want to build a deck on it. It just didn't seem worth it. The single prize decks I've been presenting weren't the best decks either, but at least they're single prize, so they're a little more interesting to me.
Yeah,
But
like
this is
if they pop off and your opponent like doesn't do a bunch of spread stuff, you can win. If you pop off with with Mega Feraligatr, you
Relegator.
probably still like lose, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate. Um, it's like the new hot or not the new ends thing with the supporter, which I don't see on this because it's very bad. Where even if
yeah,
you pop off and somehow pull it off with your 2 basics, 2 stage 1s, and 2 stage 2s, which are all different, um, you take like you still don't even necessarily like win the game, which is like it's very bad. But anyways, oh, I do see another card that kind of interests me on this list as well, I guess, which is, or I see a couple. I see the Heliolisk. This is kind of similar. If you play Canary on your turn, you can accelerate lightning from your deck to it, and it's kind of like the it's like a coin flip energy based attack, like the hops or like the layers of Dunsparce there.
right.
This one does 70 times. It's just kind of cool there. It doesn't seem super good, but it seems kind of fun. And then also the Ends Vanilla. The Ends Vanilla looks really interesting. This is the same as if you're familiar with the Lunala from, or it's like similar to the Lunala from Celebrations or something. And that card,
Yeah.
you double for 2 colors on stage two, all the damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon, which is really interesting. Um, I believe it places damage counters, so I think it gets stopped by Battle Cage. But it is a pretty interesting attack there. Did you play with Lunala, or have you not played with that?
Yeah, I played with that some. I don't know that I was able to get it too successful,
Yeah.
but yes, I did use it. That type of thing is fun. It's a stage two, so is it an N Zoroark deck? I guess, but it's you have to get on the bench as a stage two, so I don't love it, right? You have the one that copies attacks that
Oh,
it's a
Slow
single
King.
prize
Yeah.
and I think that plays this. That's probably the most reliable way to do it, assuming that slow kings can be considered reliable. But
Yeah.
that probably gives you the best chance of working. That you discard the top card of your deck and you can copy an attack from it. Is what the slow king does.
Yeah, I've seen that I think a little. Like, well, I've seen it like looking through some lists a little bit. It's looking mega antsy. Okay, anyways. And I was also thinking about maybe with the Uxie, I think, or whatever. I don't know if that's yeah, I think that's the right one where it does
Oh yeah,
places
the
two,
spread.
yeah, on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Maybe this and expand it. I mean, you have Lunala as well, but oh, and I guess this is also like it's kind of worse because it's not Vanillux, it's Ends Vanillux, so it's not part of another line. Though the stage one's like kind of disruptive, which I think you've talked about some in the past. But yeah, it's like cool. You could pair this with or you can maybe pair this with Inteleon and like Roxy, and it is water, so you can play Irida there. And you have like some water synergies, Dive Ball as well, so that could be interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can do some things with that. I want to mention just briefly. There's the Team Rockets Hypnotizer. I don't think you mentioned
Oh
that. Team
yeah,
Rockets is a nice package. You might slap one of. It's a tool, and on your Team Rockets Pokemon. And if your opponent if it's a damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon when it's in the active, your opponent's Pokemon's asleep. It's not great, but a little since you can get it easily in Team Rockets deck, one copy of that probably is not a bad thought there. And mention another card that's very deck specific, but Light Ball. Consider, I do want to probably use this in a Pikachu deck. Pikachu EX. The attacks do 50 more to your opponent's active EX, so you're already doing good damage, right? 300 damage. You're not getting one shot, so a chance to make Pikachu EX a little bit better there.
yeah, I think it's like fine there. I guess also mention another Team Rockets card, Team Rockets Kangaskhan EX. This is another card along with Team Rockets Hypnotizer. I actually didn't even like know. Well, I was like, what even is that card when you said the name? But yeah, that's another card like this Team Rockets or Team Rockets Kangaskhan EX, and which released like at a weird time a while ago in Japan. But the first attack is like I'd say bad. But the second attack is for 3 colors, which this is Team Rockets, so it can be an attachment plus Team Rocket's energy or 2 energy.
Right.
Cards. And then if you played a supporter that's Team Rocket's in its name, which if you're playing Team Rocket's deck, this is good. Then you do 200, or no, you do 220 for 3. This is kind of like Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. It doesn't require the energy on your bench. And it does more in that situation. If you do have energy on your bench, then Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX can be doing more. But this actually, oh yeah, I was gonna say this has like decent HP. Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX has crazy HP, but oh yeah, Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX needs like a full bench, or not a full bench, but like a relatively full bench as well. So this card's like kind of
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it is. I think it's okay. Like it's not a terrible card. Um, and it's cool that it's finally coming out.
Yeah, I mean, Team Rockets is a box style deck potentially, so this is something that is an option for that. I think the King Gambit, which I might try to build a deck on at stage two. It does 180 for 2 damage itself. Don't love that, but what it does is 30 more for each prize card your opponent's taken. So potentially you're doing big damage. So nothing super exciting there, but just not bad numbers as well. Say. Although you got to power up the same 2 energy, 2 energy of the same type in one turn on a stage two, so it's probably going to struggle. But you have the potential to do some big damage with it. So not, it's an option, is what I'd say.
Yeah. Overall, I feel like there's some like cool cards in the set. Um, Most of these aren't super good, but there are some fun ideas and there are some fun decks. I mean, I'd say try out really any of the decks we've shown here today, and you like probably tweak them. Most of them are really rough around the edges. I mean, we
Yeah.
each forgot an ace spec in a deck. I forgot an ace spec in the same deck twice. So yeah, there are some cool new cards from the set though. But tell us in the comment section if you have any other ideas. I've heard some other ones. A lot of them are like I don't know. I mean, again, there's a lot of kind of boring stuff in the set, but also there are some weird cards. Maybe even in expanded, like we mentioned, there's Kamala, but I think there could be some cool cards in expanded. But I haven't really looked into it too much either. But we hope you enjoyed the episode here today. And as I said, comment down below any ideas in our YouTube comment section on the 10 types or uncommon fossil channels. If this is on YouTube, we are maybe, hopefully, like collaborating officially, unless we forgot or something, or if it didn't work. But anyways, you can check us out there. You can check us out on podcasting platforms as well. But if you do have comments, make sure you leave those on YouTube. Otherwise, unfortunately, we will not see them because of the way it's been set up. But then you can also make sure to like and subscribe and any of that stuff on podcasting platforms as well. But we hope you enjoyed. And as always, like I said, see you in the next episode.
Take care.